An audio recording of an article written by Maureen Bourne from the Shining Path Hypnotherapy. This article was written on November 16th, 2022. Using movement to clear difficult emotions. Dancing helps relieve the pain, soothes your mind, makes you happy again. Listen to those dancing feet, close your eyes, and let go. Everybody Dance by Chic. Studies in neuroscience have shown that the brain-body pathway is bidirectional, meaning that our mental state can influence our physical health and vice versa. Research into this mind-body connection is taking place in institutions around the globe at an increasing rate. The idea of physical activity being important is not new. We know we need to move about for our physical health, but now more research is showing us that movement is needed for our mental health as well. Finding ways to connect our brain-body pathways is what I will be discussing here, exploring my own experiences with physical movement and my emotional well-being. Touch is one of our 5 senses we can become mindful of to open the communication of brain and body. Almost 5 years ago, I was going through an extremely difficult time in my life. I was in the deep end of my marriage ending and I was drowning. At a particularly low point, I was inconsolable, unable to eat, and I was constantly crying for 2 days. I had waves that went from tears in my eyes to full body wailing, and it was beyond exhausting. I spoke to someone close to me, and they suggested a tapas acupressure technique I could try to calm myself. It involved putting one hand behind your head to cradle your occipital bone and one hand on your forehead. No pressure needed. I was desperate for relief, so I did it, not expecting anything to happen. But to my surprise, it really helped. As I held onto my head, I felt a shift. I may have tried some positive self-talk. I can't remember, because what stood out to me was the feeling of calm and relief that came over me. A feeling of being held. The first moment of calm I had in days. I didn't cry again for at least 6 hours, which felt like a miracle to me. I was able to eat and to entertain the idea that maybe I could get through all of this. It was a massive turning point for me. A few days later, I was embraced by friends and taken out dancing. When I was younger, I absolutely loved a family party. If there was a DJ and a dance floor, I wouldn't stop. As a teenager, I would hang out at friends' houses, and often we would burst into spontaneous dance parties, creating a circle where we all danced together in bedrooms, experiencing joy and freedom. Later in life, I would show up early to nightclubs so I could enjoy the freedom of an empty dance floor. I loved getting lost in the loud music and colorful lights, moving my body in ways that made sense to me. Dancing is primal and something we all can do in some form or another. Dancing is not only a communication between the brain-body pathways, it's also a fantastic form of creative expression. The younger me didn't think I would ever enjoy any physical activity beyond dancing. At 19, I went to my first yoga class and I hated it. For 10 plus years on and mostly off, I tried to figure out why people liked it. Every time I did yoga, it made me angry, and I just thought that meant I hated it. Now I wonder if it was because I wasn't open to the brain-body connection yoga can bring. It wasn't until the end of my 30s that I found a physical activity that I really fell in love with. I started to train in ninjutsu. That martial art introduced my brain and body to each other and thus began a wonderful working relationship. Training for 3 years, I found confidence in and appreciation for my body. It clicked for me that going to training always made me feel so much better. Having a regular practice and training helped me mentally in a massive way. I felt clearer and more balanced with my emotions than I ever had. I also started to see my body for all that it was capable of, all that I was capable of. With all the training, I started to do some yoga to help stretch my sore muscles. Surprisingly, I started to really enjoy yoga, and now yoga has become a regular, enjoyable activity for me, and I am grateful for the grounding brain-body connection I get with it. I believe that difficult emotions can get stuck in our bodies. Just as anxiety and stress can give us high blood pressure or stomach problems, memories and emotions trapped in our bodies can hold us back from psychologically moving forward. All around me, I hear people say they have feelings of heaviness and sadness when they listen to the news lately, or how they struggle with money, family, and the uncertainty of the future. There are things that are out of our control and difficult, but there is always something we can do. Even if that thing is something small, like opening our brain-body communication and using movement to clear out our worries and difficult emotions. It's that bidirectional communication. Science has not yet figured out how the two parts communicate, but we can be curious and explore how to improve the communication for ourselves. Not everyone enjoys yoga, ninjutsu, running, or cycling, and some people don't have the ability to do certain physical activities. But it doesn't have to be about intensity when it comes to healing movement. There are ways to connect the mind and body by doing activities like crochet, gardening, crafting, or knitting. There's Tai Chi, ETF, aerial hoop, the Wim Hof method, or playing a musical instrument. The list is extensive, and I haven't even mentioned meditation yet. No, not everyone can sit quiet and still, so maybe practicing mindful walking meditation, mindful eating, or chanting can be explored. There's no excuse for not finding a way to awaken one's own mind-body connection as long as the desire and curiosity is there. I feel curious today and wonder how I would feel if I spent the rest of my day like I was in a musical, randomly breaking into dance and maybe song as I cook dinner or fold the laundry. Or maybe I will find a moment to close my eyes, take a deep breath, and then listen to my body, allowing it to move however it wants without judgment, just to see what my body has to say. Close your eyes and let go.